You could purchase a Pokemon card. I don't know what the context is, but if you're just purchasing a Pokemon card.
If I purchase a Pokemon card, is that a security transaction?
Store, that's not a security.
Okay. If I were to purchase a tokenized Pokemon card on a digital exchange via a blockchain, is that a security transaction?
I'd have to know more.
Okay. So for you, the process of tokenization is what transforms a non-security transaction into a security transaction?
Look, if the investing...
I thought you were technology neutral.
If the investing public is anticipating profits based upon the efforts of others and they're exchanging funds, that's the core...
I see my time has expired, so...
Solo Scrooge, sending peace and blessings to you all out there. Hashtag Solo Nation. How's it going, my people? Hope everyone's well. Appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're giving you updates on sologenic, coreum, and XRP. Also hit the like button. That helps push the channel through the analytics and helps the channel grow. So Unusual Worlds posted, this month Gary Gensler of the SEC was asked if buying a Pokemon card was a security. And as we just heard, Mr. Torres asked Gary Gensler if buying a Pokemon card was a security. He said no. Then Mr. Torres asked him, so is buying a Pokemon card on the blockchain through tokenization a security? Gary was stuttering. He'll have to know more. So then Mr. Torres said to him, so for you the process of tokenization is what transforms a non-security transaction into a security transaction. I thought you was technology neutral. Come on, Gary, man. Gary's not even making sense. In most of these hearings that I'm seeing, Gary Gensler is getting hammered. He's getting hammered. His responses are so weak and they just don't make sense. It's almost as if he's the face of a larger entity, you know, but he's the one that has to take the heat for this larger entity. So that's what's going on. And as we know, the SEC dropped the case against Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse, but the ongoing case with Ripple still remains. Chris Larsen posted, the last 3 years we've seen a rogue administrative state that needs to be held accountable for its actions. Not just an investigation into the conflicts of interest that led to these baseless claims, but how the US actively demolished its global standing as the home for innovation with thousands of jobs moving overseas. Enough is enough. And as we know, Stuart Alderotti said that SEC surrendered. So the SEC sued Ripple and two of its executives, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen, in December 2020. At the time of the lawsuit, Ripple was the most well-known and significant defendant the SEC had sued over cryptocurrency sales. And that's interesting because Digital Assets Daily at Assets Daily posted, the SEC announced they're going to do a node on the XRP ledger. Stuart Alderotti, the general counsel for Ripple. And Assets Daily posted this January 27th, 2020, almost a year before the SEC sued Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse. So that's suspicious. The SEC announced they was going to do a node on the XRP ledger.
XRP sits, as I said, on an open, permissionless ledger. How do I know that it's open and permissionless? Because the chief technology officer at Ripple tells me it is. He explains it to me, but I also have hard evidence. The SEC announced about a month or two ago that they're going to establish a node on the XRP ledger and other open and permissionless ledgers. The SEC didn't call Ripple to ask permission to do that. They're just going to do that.
So you just heard it from Stuart Alderotti, and this was posted January 27th, 2020. And furthermore, I was looking, because I was interested. So I see that Crypto Slate posted, the SEC wants to run Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP nodes. And this is posted July 31st, 2019. So this is interesting. So let's run over this quickly. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is looking for contractors that would run Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP nodes on its behalf. The regulator says the nodes will support its efforts to monitor risks and improve compliance despite dozens of free blockchain explorers and analytic tools being available online. US market regulator wants to run its own nodes on Bitcoin and Ethereum. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has become notorious in the crypto community as the agency's attempts to police the market has frequently trumped further development in the industry. The community's distrust of the SEC increased in the past couple of days when the news about the agency's newest attempt to track blockchain transactions broke. According to Trust Nodes, the SEC is planning to run its own Bitcoin and Ethereum nodes in addition to as many possible of the following blockchains: Bitcoin Cash, Stellar, Zcash, EOS, Neo, and XRP Ledger. The commission said that running their own nodes will support its efforts to monitor risk, improve compliance, and create better informed policies. The official Federal Business Opportunities website also stated that the subscription shall source all blockchain data from hosted nodes rather than providing this data as a secondary source. Data like hashing algorithms, hashing power, miner difficulty and rewards, transactions quantity and size, coin supply and blockchain size will also be tracked, it said on the SEC's request. The SEC's request for quotes from contractors was published on July the 2nd, but went largely unnoticed until now. So what does the SEC want with the data? News about the SEC's planned dive into blockchain analytics got mixed reactions from the crypto community. Some Twitter users saw this as a clear bullish sign, believing that it will lead to both the SEC and the US governments accepting the industry. Matty Greenspan, the senior market analyst at eToro, seemed to see this as a positive development for the industry, saying that he never thought he'd see the day when the government got this involved in blockchain. And there you can see his post. And he posted this from 2019, July 2019. Never thought I'd see the day. SEC to run Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP nodes. Trustnodes.com. However, others were more skeptical of this, saying that the government surveillance defeats the purpose of cryptocurrencies. Inviting the prying eyes or preying eyes of the government into blockchain has the potential to jeopardize the privacy crypto transactions have. The SEC didn't reveal what it plans to do with the data it acquires from its contractors. There are currently dozens of advanced blockchain explorers available, so many were left wondering why the SEC would devote so much of its resources to outsourcing. However, the agency might be looking to get advanced analytics from its contractors rather than just cold hard data. We are yet to see whether this leads to something positive, such as compliance automation, or puts blockchain privacy in greater danger. Well, as we know, in 2020, a year and a half later after this article was posted, the SEC sued Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. But before that, the SEC wanted to run nodes. They wanted to run an XRP node. So it's all suspicious. So Baldy app posted, and this was from 2019 as well. The UK defined XRP as a hybrid token, utility and exchange token, not a security. They wanted to create a crypto valley in the UK. Regulation should not be the enemy of innovation. Stuart Alderotti, Ripple, September 2019.
And the UK also says we're going to continue to evolve the guidance as the industry and the innovation evolves along with it. And what the UK said was that we're going to put these tokens into three buckets: a security token, a utility token, and an exchange token. And if you're a security token, again, if I sell you a token and I give you a right, title, or interest to my company, you're going to be treated and supervised and regulated as a security. If not, you're going to be treated as a utility token or an exchange token, or in some cases a hybrid of both. XRP was put in the bucket of being a hybrid utility and exchange token. Then they didn't get distracted by things like, is there secondary trading in the token? And both of the no action letters that the SEC issued both specifically said that there can be no secondary trading in the token. Secondary trading is an indicator of speculation. It's not necessarily an indicator of investment. The FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, quite wisely said that people speculate in a lot of things. They speculate in wine, they speculate in cars, they speculate in real estate, they speculate in fiat currency, but speculation doesn't equate with investment. So again, while perhaps not as welcoming as Switzerland, I don't think the UK is saying we want to create a crypto valley in the UK, but they recognize that they're dealing with innovation, and they recognize that they're dealing with creativity, and regulation should not be the enemy of innovation. In the US, I think unless we get some additional clarity relatively soon, we're going to slide into a situation where regulation is going to be contra to innovation, and then the innovation is going to flee the US.
And we're at that point now where innovation is fleeing the US. Stuart said it. He said it. And this was 2019. We're in 2023. So the UK defined XRP as a hybrid token, utility and exchange token, not a security. So Ripple posted, liquidity is the ability to buy or sell without impacting price. It's also essential in crypto for business. Brad Chase, head of liquidity products, describes the importance of crypto liquidity in under 1 minute.
The only other thing I try to do in 1 minute is get my son to brush his teeth. Hi, my name is Brad Chase, and this is Crypto in a Minute. First of all, what is liquidity? Liquidity is the ability to buy or sell without impacting the price. So if you think about that another way, there's sufficient supply to meet the demand that's out there. So anyone building a business, trying to use and leverage crypto, is coming in with demand. And if there's insufficient liquidity or insufficient supply, you can't run your business or meet the needs that you're trying to accomplish. So crypto liquidity is essential. And the more liquidity that there is, there's actually great benefits to people that are trying to use the technology. Generally, there's less volatility because there's more buyers and sellers out there in the market that are ready to meet fluctuations in demand. Generally, it's better transaction costs because those buyers and sellers in the market are actually competing for your business and trying to earn it and then doing that at the best cost for you. And so there's this nice virtuous cycle that happens where the more and more liquidity providers show up, the more and more adoption there is, the more benefits there are to the users, attracts more liquidity providers, and that cycle grows and grows and grows. So liquidity, super important for crypto.
Liquidity is super important for crypto, and when we speak of XRP, we speak of on-demand liquidity. So my people, appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. If you got anything out of this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video for me. I'm Solo Scrooge with the Solo News. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.